Yes, guys, welcome back to the most inconsistent YouTube channel you've probably ever witnessed. It's been 4 weeks since the last time I posted a vlog. I got into such a good routine and habit of doing them when I was in peak week. But obviously I think the main reason for that was I was off work. Had plenty of time to do it. Obviously back at work, post-show, back to reality. And I found it very easy to let it slip. I said to myself I was going to go back to doing a video a week on the weekends, but I've sort of got to the weekend. I'm like, well, I can film today, and I don't do it. I've got loads of stuff to do. I do all this stuff, and then I end up spend the rest of the day watching TV or whatever and relaxing, which isn't anything wrong with that. You do need downtime, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to be more consistent with my content creation and making videos and all the rest of it. So the hours that I spend sitting on the sofa, at least one of them could be put aside for recording, filming videos, and yeah. So I will be more consistent with it from now on. Today is 5 weeks post-show, so just wanted to jump on here, talk about my new training split, which I'll go through in a minute. Sort of how the last 4 or 5 weeks has gone, how my refeed period went, which was 2 weeks post-show, and yeah, how things are going. To answer that last one, things are going pretty well. Started a new training split start of last week. I'll sort of go over it slightly, like obviously what I'm training now, what areas I'm planning to pull up in this off season, just from obviously my own feedback from looking at pictures of me on stage, from feedback from my coach. We had like a 45-minute phone call where we went through stuff we wanted to change, and I'm very happy with the new training plan. Obviously only 2 weeks into it. I just trained my second leg day on this split, and my legs are very, very sore, but obviously in a good way. But yeah, my new training split now. Beforehand, if you've watched my earlier videos, it was just a push-pull legs, delts and arms, and chest and back split, because they were the areas I wanted to work on. But now we've started doing, well, this isn't the sort of days that my coach had sent me, but obviously just due to work commitments, I've changed certain days around just to fit my schedule a bit better. So Monday we rest, Tuesday is a chest focus push session, Wednesday rest, we've got pull session and arms on a Thursday, we've got posterior and biceps on a Friday, we've got a push delt focus session on a Saturday, and on Sunday we do lower. I won't go into all the exercises we've changed. I'll gloss over a few of the main ones. But basically the parts of my physique that needs to be brought up are definitely my legs, more so my hamstrings and glutes, as currently they are non-existent. But we are working on changing that. Obviously keeping the push and pull movements in, and the posterior day, so I'm sort of training legs 1.5 times a week, and effectively pull twice a week and push twice a week. So we're in a really good situation here for growth going forwards. Some of the main changes in terms of bringing up my glutes and hamstrings are glute drive, which is something I've never really, I think I've maybe used the machine once when it first got put in the gym just to see what it was like, and I didn't like it then. Didn't really like it when I trained on it for the first time last week, but used it again today. And although I did film it, I don't know if I'm going to put it into this video because sus machine, but I think I am sort of enjoying it. I'm going to try it next week on the Smith machine and see if I like that movement anymore. But I trained it last week, and I swear there's muscles in my glutes I didn't even know existed that were hurting for a good 5 days afterwards, which made general day-to-day life a little bit harder. But it was like a good muscle soreness, if that makes sense. Like I could tell that I'd obviously hit it correctly. So if I wake up tomorrow and I can barely bend down or sit down, then I know obviously I've hit it well again, and I might just keep it as it is. But yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna have a little play about with that one. We've taken out dumbbell split squats, which, although I did train them, I absolutely hated, knowing that I had that as my last exercise on a leg day. Like, I mean, leg day is hard enough, but then when you get to the end of it and you know you've still got a set of Bulgarian split squats to do, it's just not ideal. But we've changed that out for Smith machine split squats, which when I first tried them last week, I think my working set, I maybe put 10 kilos aside on my bar, and yeah, I didn't quite find my groove with it, but did them today. Did go slightly heavy. I think I did 30 kilos, which obviously still isn't a lot, but I'm just trying to get my body used to the movement. And to be fair, I actually quite enjoyed them, which is something I never thought I'd say. In terms of the rest of my leg day, because obviously that's what I'm going to be putting clips of in this video. Still got calf raises in there, obviously. Need to grow them calves. Got hamstring curl. We've changed Smith squat to barbell squat, which I'm pretty happy with. I really did like Smith squat, but I mean, I haven't barbell squatted until this new training took effect for like 18 months. And the last time I barbell squatted, I did hit 200 kilos for one, but obviously that was in a time when, as much as I was trying to train to be a bodybuilder, I was still chasing them 1 rep maxes, and for physique development and growth, that is just not what we're aiming for. So obviously I've had to put the ego aside across all my lifts in this new training split, and I'm not training to be strong, although by gaining muscle you will gain strength. I'm no longer chasing logbook numbers in the terms of I want as much weight on the bar as possible, the most weight on the machine as possible. I'm doing little incremental changes every week and obviously striving for progressive overload, but whether that's 5 kilo, 2.5 kilo, or even a 1.25 kilo added on, or just that extra 1 rep on the same weight from last week, I'm not getting ahead of myself and thinking, oh well, I could put another 20 plate on here, and then obviously only getting 2 or 3 reps, because that's not going to benefit my physique at all. So obviously, in terms of going into a squat, when I used to quite comfortably do 4.5 plates, well, 4 plates, 180, yeah, for like 5-6 reps, I've did 8 reps at 135 kilos today, but obviously really slow negatives, focusing on form, making sure I wasn't rushing. Like, I'm not rushing any sets, I've got no reason to. Like, my gym time is my time, and however long it takes me to train, then that's so it is. Like, my leg day, obviously, I think I trained for about 130 minutes today. It was just over 2 hours, which is my longest session. All my other days do tend to only be between 45 minutes and an hour, but in that time, it's plenty to do what needs to be done. You want to sort of get the most out of the little time possible. You don't need to be in there all day, because obviously if the longer you stayed in the gym equaled more gains, then you could just stay in the gym all day and you'd be the biggest guy around, but that's not the case. It's all about the intention and the execution of the exercises you're doing. And if you're not doing your exercises right, you could spend all day in the gym and you're not going to see any improvement. See leg press, which is a movement I've always been strong on, but I've peeled a few plates back off that. Still probably my strongest lift across all days, to be fair, but just making sure I'm going really deep in the movement and not just pushing out ego reps, which obviously a lot of people seem to do on the leg press. So then a lot of people say leg presses aren't good for leg development, but if you actually do them correctly and focus on the sets and make sure every rep is putting you in the right position and you're executing it properly, it is a brilliant movement for leg development. Quad extensions, as in my last off season I was basically full stacking it for quite a while afterwards. And because me and my coach thought it's not going to take long before I'm back to that point, and obviously once you get to that point, I don't have a gym pin. And I mean, the machines at my gym, if you put a gym pin in, added extra weight, it'd probably snap in two. So we've decided to go for single-legged leg extensions, which I am really enjoying. I do feel a better connection. I feel like I connect with my quads more doing single legs, as you do with most unilateral movements. But yeah, that's also one I've obviously doing not a lot of weight with. Split squats and glute drive. Obviously you'll see all them in the clips I put in this video. But yeah, that is my new leg day. I will go through my other days. Obviously I'll film them and talk about them as we go. I was going to obviously talk sort of as I was doing my workout today, but I thought my microphone was in my gym bag, but it's not. It's actually on the bookcase behind me. So I'm going to put them back in my gym bag at some point today, and I'm going to go through each of my training days, and obviously as I'm training, just explain my movements and how I perform them, so that if you're looking for new movements to do or wanting to try new exercises, I will try my best to explain how to do them effectively and hopefully teach you some stuff. So, reverse diet. Obviously, as it was my first show, it could have been a lot better the way I approached it. Food focus was a massive thing I've had to battle with for the last 4 or 5 weeks. I haven't been crazy, obviously I haven't cheated on my diet. I had my post-show cheat meal, went out for a burger with my stepdad, had some cookie dealer cookies, it was all good. Although before I had them I sort of felt I haven't deserved these. Obviously my ultimate goal was to crack the top 5, came just outside of that, and I sort of thought in my head like, I need to earn these, but at the same time I was like, well, I've cracked it, I've stepped on stage for the first time, which was something that I was very anxious and nervous about, so in a way I was rewarding myself for that. So I'm just in a bit of a 50-50 about whether or not I'd actually deserved a post-show meal, but I mean obviously I did. But anyway, but obviously coming out of, I was in prep for, I think it was 24 weeks, it's like the end of Feb till end of September, however long that is. So coming out of that, and obviously being in prep, and in the last like month and a half, 2 months of that, I was on sub 2,000 calories, which, I mean, for anyone, is not a lot of food. Carbs were down to like 150 grams a day, and as someone who has spent 30 years of their life basically eating nothing but carbs, it was a learning curve for me. Obviously got through it, stuck to it, did my show, looked awesome on stage, lots of improvements to be made, but really happy with what we presented. But since then, obviously I've found it very easy to start looking at food again. Every time I walk into a shop now, I've got to choose which aisles I walk down, because obviously I walk through the bakery section, I see a baked good, I could inhale that in seconds, but that's, say, I don't know, pastry of some sort, it could be 300 calories, I inhale that, but what benefit has that served me? Like, I've now obviously got my weekly off-plan meal back, and for the most part, for the last 4 or 5 weeks, I think 3 of them, I've just gone to my parents and had a Chinese. Like, we don't go crazy on that, usually pick up some like rice and like prawn crackers and spring rolls, something like that, and then my mum ends up cooking either ribs. Like last night we had an off-plan meal, she made pork chops and like diced chicken in different sauces and stuff, and it was absolutely lovely, and I just literally had some chicken fried rice on top of that, so it was very protein heavy but delicious all the same. But obviously there's been a couple of times, and obviously I've told my coach, like, I've gone to the shop and without even thinking I've picked up that 4-pack of cookies from Tesco, and I've come home and I've eaten them, and like as much as it's not something to beat myself up over, because even he said when you were dieting as long as you have, he knows how hard it can be, and obviously it's not something that happens regularly. It's not something I want to happen regularly, but it's just little things like that. It's very hard to look at that food after obviously not being able to eat it for so long and not trying it, because you sort of want to have them things that you've been restricting yourself from for so long. But now that I'm a few weeks sort of out of diet and my calories are going up again, I'm not getting that urge anymore. So obviously next time I compete, when I compete next year and I do go into my reverse diet, unless I place really well, I'm not allowing myself to have a post-show cheat meal. There won't be any cookies, anything like that. And in my reverse diet phase, I will not let food focus get the better of me. I will be straight back on plan, whatever that meal plan may be, and effectively swinging myself into the next off season even better than I have this one. I mean, I've obviously not ruined any progress. I've not just been snacking all the time. It's just been little moments where the urges have got the better of me, and I've had things here and there. But yeah, it's like we're 100% back on plan, and apart from my once a week off plan meal, which some weeks I'm probably not even going to indulge in, we are just moving forwards. I'm 89.1 kilos fasted this morning, so that's just short of 5 kilos up from stage weight in 5 weeks. So it's not like I've piled on 10-15 kilos by smashing takeaways every day coming out of my show. I think it's quite a nice little steady progression, and obviously I've done my check-in this morning. My weight's effectively been the same the last 2 weeks, so I am expecting a food change when coach gets back to me. Excited to see what that is. I was also going to do a full day of eating today, but I had a bit to do this morning. Got up at 4:30, did all my usual morning stuff. If you've seen my other videos, you'll know my morning routine means a great deal to me. And I ended up staying fasted. I woke up at 4:30 and I didn't eat my first meal till I think it was like 8 a.m. Like 3.5 hours fasted on top of obviously being asleep. And I honestly inhaled my chicken and rice meal before getting ready for the gym. And there was no point filming a full day of eating if I've missed a meal off, so I will do that next weekend. And obviously my food will be a bit different next weekend, but I'll document all that and show you what sort of calories, my macros I'm on right now. Yeah, but I was obviously filling in my check-in this morning, and obviously that weekly little roundup, and telling my coach like what like there's little sections of like what you're most proud of this week. And I think it was my one from last week. I was driving, I set off to the gym, and I think it was my first session of this training block, so it would have been no, it was my first weekend in my training block, so I think I'd done a couple of sessions. But got to Friday, I was off work, set off to the gym. A little side note, my car had been making this weird sound, but it was like a rattling sound, and in my head I was like, oh, it's just something like my heat shield or something, or my exhaust might be loose. I'll get it to the gym today. But I needed to do a food shop, wanted to get a gym session out of the way in case my car could go into the garage, wanted to make sure I'd got them two cracked off. So I set off to the gym, made it barely 5 minutes down the road, and I heard something snap, and it sounded like something got spat out of my car. And then it came up saying, battery not charging, please make a safe stop. And I was like, fuck, that sounds like my belt's gone. And I managed to, obviously, I mean, it didn't stop me from driving. I turned around and went to the garage, which was 5 minutes back past my house. And I got there 20 minutes before anyone else, like anyone that worked there got there. Luckily, a mate of mine that works there turned up, told him the crack, and he said he'd take my car in, but with no guarantee that it'd get done that day. And I was like, that's cool, like, I'll work it out. I've got a few days off work. If I've got to wait till middle of next week, I can make arrangements. either to get to work or get to the gym, but just obviously if it takes that amount of time, as long as I get my car back and it's fixed, happy days. So I could have easily gone home. Well, I did come home to get another meal in, and I sat on the sofa, and I could have well easily just wallowed in my little bubble and gone, oh well, out of a car, and just got in a little mood and not gone to the gym. But I ended up, well, because I didn't have a car and there was no trains running, close to the time I dropped my car off, I ended up walking 45 minutes from the garage to my house. I then got a train from my house to the next town, to Grange, to wait 40 minutes for a bus to Kendal. In that 40 minutes I just nipped into the charity shop across the road, ended up picking up some books, because obviously if you know me, I read a lot, and then I got a 30 odd minutes bus to Kendal to then walk to the gym. I trained for literally 45 minutes, it was just a push day, wasn't in there long. I then had, I think it was like 45-50 minutes to wait for the bus home, and then for some reason the bus took 40 minutes to get back, and then from the train station, well, from the bus station, I then had to walk back to my flat, which was, well, it's like a 25-30 minute walk, but I ended up seeing my mate outside the shop and chatting to him for like a good half an hour and walking through town with him, and eventually made it home. I set off to the gym at 7:15 in the morning in my car, and I made it home on foot at, I think it was like 4:30. All that, I think it was like 8.5 hours, whatever, to literally train for 45 minutes, which is, well, you can only describe it as discipline, like, because who else would go to all that effort to train? I mean, if you'd have asked me to do that, like 18 months, 2 years ago, I would have said no. I would have got home, I would have probably got some snacks on the way home, stress eat, and just eat a load of snacks and got into, I don't know, had a very unproductive day, let's put it that way. But when you love to train as much as I do, like the way I felt that day, I would have probably literally walked to Kendal. I mean, well, that would have taken me like 5 hours or something, so maybe pushing it a bit there, but you get the point of, like, when you want something and you're trying to achieve a goal in something, you will literally do anything to make it happen. And yeah, like, hopefully it never happens again, because it is very inconvenient, and I didn't waste a day, but I spent an entire day just to go to the gym for 45 minutes, but I'm glad I did, because it was a very good session. And also, I mean, on the plus side, I think I got like 16,000 steps in, which is only a good thing, getting out and being active. And also, luckily, besides the way home, it was quite a sunny day. But it just so happened when I walked back and I got the bus and I had to walk back from there, it did start raining, which was a bit shit, but yeah, it is what it is. I finally sat down, and then I got a message like an hour after I got back saying, oh, your car's done. So I was like, oh, brilliant. I probably could have waited. I mean, could have done something through the day, gone to my parents or gone for a walk or whatever, and just waited till tea time and gone to the gym then. But if I'd have done that and my car wasn't ready, then I would have wasted an opportunity to go and train, which I wouldn't be happy with. But yeah, I mean, I've been waffling on for like 25 minutes now. I think I've covered most of the things I wanted to talk about. My coffee is probably cold. Sort of. It's like lukewarm at best. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Finish my coffee. I've got some studying to do. Obviously my PT qualifications I'm cracking on with, and I've actually done what I said I was going to do this week and studied for at least an hour a day. And I find that now that I've, instead of putting a load of pressure on myself at the weekend and studying for like 3-4 hours, and by the end of it my brain's just hurting, I'm splitting it up, and I think for most I've studied this week it's like just short of 2 hours, but on average it's like at least an hour a day, and I'm finding breaking it up like that is definitely helping. So I'm going to finish this video, get a bit of studying done, come back and edit this video. But before I go, I am embarking on a new little challenge starting today. I am going to be posting on Instagram and YouTube like reels and shorts, and I'm going to do basically 100 days of me speaking to the camera every day. It's something I've seen. I just came across a video, some guy doing it. It was on like day 30 or something, and he said it was a challenge he set himself. And obviously, if you watch my earlier videos, I struggled so much when I first started with confidence and actually speaking to a camera. Obviously, I'm a bit better at it now. I can just waffle on. But there is obviously still times. I mean, I haven't filmed a YouTube vlog in 4 weeks for the simple fact of I get really motivated to do it, and then it comes to the day and I'm like, oh yeah, I can do it later. And I almost did that today. I was going to film in the morning, go to the gym, do some filming, all the rest of it. And obviously I went to the gym, filmed my workout, and even on my drive home, them little like voices in my head was like, you can just chill out today. You don't need to film. But that's not, it's them voices you don't want to listen to. Well, I don't want to listen to. And I need to be more consistent. So yeah, I'm going to film a reel a day for 100 days. Some of it will be me talking, feelings, and like some educational stuff. It might be like how to do an exercise or mindset stuff and habits and I don't know, self-improvement stuff. So yeah, it's just basically to build my consistency with posting again. And at least I know that it could only be a minute or a 5-minute video. At least if I know I'm posting that every day, the consistency will build up, and then I'll build the discipline in terms of posting and filming going forwards. And hopefully in turn that'll help me with my long form content, because I do want to at least film one vlog every weekend. It'll probably be on a Sunday. But, well, some days it'll be a Friday and Saturday, but if I'm doing overtime at work, Sunday will probably be the day. It won't always be training. I'll have other stuff, like I want to obviously film other stuff and make things interesting and fun for people to watch. But obviously that'll be a bit further down the line, and obviously I want to document all my different training days, how I perform the exercises, full days of eating as my calories go up, and obviously my physique updates. And yeah, lots of content to be done. I just need to actually turn my camera on and just crack on with it instead of wasting my days watching TV and doom scrolling. But if you've made it this far in the video, then fair play to you. If you have, comment pen if you've reached to the end of the video. And if you haven't reached to the end of the video, then, well, we're no longer friends. So I'll leave it there. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe and comment. It helps me grow the channel. But yeah, thanks everyone that does watch and does sort of message me on a regular basis asking me when my next YouTube vlog's coming out. And I always say next week, or well, this weekend, whatever, and then end up not doing one. But we're back with a bang today. So from here on out, you have my word, I'm going to be more consistent with it. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Discard. Discard. Discard.